Hey everyone, Kelly Dean Allen here. Today, going to show you how to play the Thin Lizzy classic Don't Believe a Word, stemming from the band's 1976 album Johnny the Fox. A track that is almost guaranteed to show up on any list of the greatest overall Thin Lizzy tracks, with its only problem being that it's just too damn short at just over 2 minutes in length. Regardless, fantastic Thin Lizzy cut from the mid-70s. Let's close in here a little bit, learn how to play it, shall we? All right then, Don't Believe a Word and Thin Lizzy from their 1976 album Johnny the Fox. We are tuned down 1/2 step for this tutorial, and here is your tuning. Now we're going to be using a bunch of power chords here, mostly during the pre-chorus. A, G, F, D, C, G, right? I'm going to call them what they are in relation to where they are on the fretboard. Because we are tuned down 1/2 step, all of those power chords are flats, right? That's an A flat power chord. But I'm going to call it A because it's at the 12th fret position, right? Where we're accustomed to seeing them. You know, that D power chord there at the 5th fret position. We're going to call it D, even though it is D flat. So the opening riff to this one is dead simple. Goes a little something like this. And you're going to repeat that 7.5 times. Palm muted open A string twice, 7 off to 5 of the D, back to the palm muted open A, and then 5 back to 4 of the D. Right? And repeat 7.5 times. After the first 4 playthroughs of that riff, a harmony joins, playing the exact same rhythm, but here on the 10, 9, 7, harmonizing in thirds. Right, that's the harmony, but the main prominent guitar is this. After you repeat that 7 times, the 8th time you're going to start it again the exact same way, and then drop into that. So we're going to go 7 off to 5 again. You're going to pick that 5 again, and then you're going to go off to open D, hammer onto 2, back off to open. Grab the 3 of the A down to the 2 of the G and choke that note off. Right, kind of like that. And then we're into the first verse. So the first verse riff, you're going to repeat it twice, very similar to the opening riff, but instead of sliding back to 4, we're going to hammer back onto 7. Kind of like that, repeated twice. Then we're going to jump everything down to the D and the G string and play this. So a double hit of the palm muted open D, 7 off to 5 of the G, back onto the 7, and then off to 4 that you're going to let ring for about a bar. Now there's a harmony to that as well. Again, in thirds, 10 off to 9, back to 10 off to 7 of the G. Same 2 strings. Right? But again, the prominent guitar is this. And then we're into those power chords that I mentioned earlier, A to G to F, and then D to C to G. And then we drop into the second verse, same as the first. And then the power chords again. D, G, C, G, and then we're into the chorus. Chorus. So the chorus, we're using this little E minor double stop here, 7 of the A, 5 of the D, triple hit of the open E string, and then you hit that double stop. Quick grab of the open E again, and then hammer on 5 to 7 of the A. Repeat that twice, and then we're going to string skip the whole thing down to the D, G, and the B string. Basically play the exact same thing, but 4 times. Now the little double stop that we're holding is on the 7 of the G and the 6 of the B, little D minor double stop, right? and then hammering on 5 to 7 of the G, repeated 4 times. And then we finish with this. Back into that lick again, triple hit of the open A, 7 off to 5, and then drop into that lick again, right? You hit that 5 just once this time, open D, hammer on to 2, grab that 3 of the A, down to the 2 of the G, right? And that leads into the guitar solo. The guitar solo, great guitar solo here by Brian Robertson. He's got a wah pedal on for this entire solo. I am not going to teach it with a wah pedal on, but know that. The entire solo he has his wah pedal going. And going to play through it first, and then we'll dig into how to play it. That's pretty much the solo right there. So we're soloing in the A minor pentatonic for the most part, A flat minor because we're down tuned, right? There's a lick right in the middle of the solo that is not A minor pentatonic, this one here. Bit more of a minor scale work there with a bit of an off note to kickstart it. However, mostly minor pentatonic work. We'll get to that lick when we get to it. We're starting here with a slow tremolo picked bend on the 7 of the G string. Kind of like that, right? For about a bar, and we're going to drop off to a trill between 5 and 7 for about a bar after that. Kind of like that, right? Into this lick. Big slide up and down the neck. Bend of that 7 down to 5 of the B, hammer onto 8, pull it back off to 5, and back onto the 7 of the G. And then 2 little half-step bend releases of that 7. Big slide up and down the neck on that note, right? And that's the opening to the solo. Into this. All going on the 17 and 19s of the D and the G, starting with a slide into 19 of the D, finishing on the 17 of the D and sliding out of it. Into this. So sliding back into 19 of the D, down to 17 of the G again, immediately into that, a bend of the 19 of the G, and then riding down the 17s of the B and the high E. And then dropping onto 20 of the B for 2 full step bend releases. The second time you release that bend, you're going to pick it about 4 times. Kind of like that, right? And then we drop into that lick that I was talking about earlier. Right there. So we're kind of raking into 14. This is kind of a note out of the major scale. So we're raking into 14 of the high E, onto 15, off to 13 of the B. Then you're going to roll that 13 of the B down to the 13 of the high E, off to 12, and back to the 13 of the B. Right, off to 12, roll it up to 12 of the G, and then on to 14 of the D. And then finish that whole lick with a full step bend on the 15 of the B string. Right, jump it up here to 20 of the high E, 3 full step bends. And then you're going to release it back to the natural note at 20, off to 17. And then you're going to grab the 20 of the B, give it a quick little bend, and then back to that 17 for a triple hit. Kind of like that, right? And then we're going to do this 4 times. Just bending that 20 of the B, grabbing that 17 of the high E. Kind of like that, right? Then you're going to pick that 2 more times, and then ride up the blues scale. Right? Grabbing that flat 5th there on the 20 of the G. And that finishes the lick. When you get to that 19 of the D, you're going to roll it back down to the 19 of the G. And then pull it off to 17, grab that 19 of the D again. And then finish with that. A bend on that 19, right? And then we finish the solo with this. So 17 of the high E, 20 off to 17 of the B, into a full step bend on the 19 of the G. Two bends, actually. On the second bend, you're going to reach down there, grab the 20 of the B string, and then right back to the bend again. To finish the solo. And that is the solo. So let's take it from the top nice and slow, and then we'll move on. Right? And then we drop right into another chorus. Right into one more verse. And then the power chords, A, G, F, D, G, C, G. And at the end of the track, we're going to go A power chord, G power chord, F power chord in this position, not this position, 4 times. A, G, F, A, G, F. And then we drop into the opening riff for 7.5 more repeats. Right, and the final time, we do that to finish the track. We slide back to 4, immediately slide into 7 off to 5, grab the 7 of the A, off to open A, end of track. And there you go. That is how you play Don't Believe a Word by Thin Lizzy. Certainly hope you enjoyed that, found it helpful. If you did, please hit that like button right down there. Maybe drop me a subscribe if you haven't done that already, as that would be very kind. Hope you're well out there in your little guitar corner of the world, wherever that may find you, and we will see you next time. Cheers.